Wow, Super Saturday had absolutely everything. We found out who our worst team in the comp is. We've got to see some excitement, some happiness from a couple of our cellar dweller teams in the Dogs and the Tigers. So, maybe they aren't so much the bottom teams, but we got to see a lot of points as well. The lowest winning score was a 32. We had a 46-24 as well. So plenty happening, plenty of fantasy and Supercoach stats, and we'll get into all of that right here. So in this Dogs one, 32 zip over the Titans, and how much are they going to be able to rely on Campbell potentially returning next week or the week after, and then Dave Fafita as well when he returns. And they had Foreign back and still just nothing went right. They didn't look like they had any good shape. The outside backs weren't crushing it like they normally do. The forwards were sort of struggling as well, and we'll see that in the fantasy scoring here with Kiraz being the top dog there at 96. A 96, guys. That is incredible. I very much hope you did hold on. There are a few that were ready to rage trade all of their dogs. And look, it still might be the correct play when they come up against some tougher outfits, but this one from Kiraz was special. A 96 for him, and I believe it might be close to, did he get 89 or a 92 or something last year, that first game or whatever it was? Incredible. This is one of those games. He had absolutely everything with 3 turnover tackles. He did run for 122 meters, so it wasn't crazy, but plenty enough. The tackle numbers were great this week at 19 for 1 miss. Just shows that obviously the different types of offensive structures that are coming at you. And him and Hutcho would have obviously worked on their combination a little bit better this week as well, because you would have had to turn it around from that many missed tackles down to this. And he looked great, in cover tackles, sweeping around the legs as well for those late dive tackles. And picked up a line break, a try, a couple of line break assists, the 4 offloads, 11 tackle breaks. He was in everything, and a lot of this was to do with the Titans defense, but he was also pretty much one of the only guys doing that. So it shows his class as well. And a 96 for a dual position 530k guy, taking that every day of the week. And that's this week my Hosking from last week. So incredible work from Kiraz. Is he a buy next week? I don't think so. You're obviously clearly holding him for a long time now, but I don't know if he's a clear buy. Just with the outfits that they will come up against. It is the Bunnies next week though, which is interesting, just considering how their defense has gone. But we do see on a week-to-week basis for a lot of these teams, there are bounce backs. This Dogs bounce back this week. They did play solidly against the Sharks, especially in the first half, but bounce back for them. You then got a big bounce back from the Tigers after their poor showing. You had the Dragons as well go out to a massive lead and probably butchered a little bit, and then the Cowboys turned up to play as they always do, just terrible in the first 20 minutes. But that's where we're at with Kiraz. Let's have a look at the landscape of all the injuries and stuff that's going to happen and come out of this week, because there's plenty going on. Speaking of good scores, Reed Marty was 67. Awesome for him. A 2 line break special with a try assist and a try. 3 missed tackles on this one. So again, there's a lot happening, and he was on the good side of it this week. A couple of errors, a couple of penalties, obviously, but that's Reed to a T, isn't it? Good kick meters as well, 7 points out of that. And some run meters, so good stuff for Reedy and any owners of him. You got out to a 51 average in the first 3, so you couldn't have asked for much more with him. Speaking of great players to watch, Connor Tracy, guys, he's a very, very good player in this game. You can just see he just wants to work hard. He knows where to run. He's running at gaps. Yeah, that's where he's getting some of these tackle breaks. Obviously, some crab runs as well, but the energy he provides for this side, I think, is really important. Where he fits, I'm not exactly sure. Does Taff keep his spot at fullback? We're probably going to keep asking this because he had an okay game in this one, but a lot of the work was done elsewhere. And Tracy, at least he's on the park, and on the wing, at least he gets good run meters, because that's the best part of his game is his running. Got a line break and a try to that as well. Preston, another week, another try, 67 minutes again. So he's one of those guys, if you own, you hold. If you don't, you're not buying. If he gets the 80 minutes consistently, then he could be a guy that we do look at. But surprisingly, this year, he's the guy that's getting less minutes, and Kikau got the 80 this week, and he had an elbow forearm problem as well, which was very interesting that he got the whole game out and they didn't spell him at the end. So he was just having too much fun, obviously. So Preston's a hold. Jolliffe, he got 52 in 45, so a really solid effort, something that a lot of these guys weren't able to provide. Apart from him, I believe Aaron Clark and also Chris Randall were the 3 guys that they really pushed hard and tried their best. And you see Clark here, 33 minutes, 30 tackles, 116 run meters. So that's impressive in itself. And then Randall trying to get involved and do some good work in there with a couple of turnover tackles as well. Maxi King, a few extra minutes, 48 in 47, so still fairly low. You see Curran as well with 45 minutes in this one. So they're two, I'd say, most important middles are the guys getting lesser minutes at the moment. So this will change on a week-to-week basis, I'd imagine. We're seeing that with Curran, obviously with no injuries in this game. In the end, it almost looked that way with Kickow going down at the beginning, but turned around and he was okay. So that's the only worry, I suppose, you can see there with King, obviously, and Curran is the minutes that they've played. Obviously, King got probably a little bit more when everyone was fit in the game, surprisingly. But then you had Curran who went down to 45. So that's the worry with him. He almost got a try. They got pulled back. Bit of some odd rules that are coming up. That's like they're just getting so close to scoring, and that's that. But he looks like one of their most damaging ball runners. He's always just, as I said, running at those gaps. His work ethic's there. Tackle numbers are great. So I suspect he's going to be one of those guys that does play over 50 on a regular basis. But you see the 45 here. Didn't need him to come back on as well. I suppose you could look at that. But who knows what Cameron is thinking there in the coach's box with that one. But if you did buy the 40, it's still fine. Like, he still makes a little bit of money out of that. You do want him up around the 45, 50 though, to get you that 100k plus in price rises. So he'll be fine. But definitely the minutes are one to watch there, because Kurt Mann's still getting the 52. So no matter what the game scenario is right now, he's coming on at that 28 and playing the rest of the way. 39 for him this week, and kind of shows where he's at sometimes in his scoring, is that he can get decent minutes but have an average PPM, but still 39 is great for him at that price point, being 50k less than that of Kurt Mann. So you won out a little bit more with Kurt just because he's a little bit cheaper if you went that way. Obviously didn't speak about him much in the lead up, and that's usually why. Like, seen him at the Knights and how he played at 13. I owned him a few years and it was just like, okay. He'd score okay. He'd have lowish minutes like this, so 45 to 50. Like, sometimes that's fine. You can get a point per minute, but other times you're down in the 0.7s and you're in the mid 30s to high 30s, and it's solid. But getting up near 500k now, that was kind of the worry. Still making money though. Good stuff for him. At least 100k if he can get anywhere near this, which is good. Hutcho, 37, got that try assist early. It's just annoying me with how much he falls off tackles, because I thought, you look at all these tackle numbers from previous years. He does tackle a lot, but he usually misses a few less. So that was frustrating, a bit of a poor error in there as well. I think that's enough for him to keep his spot. The Sexton drama before the game with him being pulled from New South Wales Cup, and we're like, is he going to be, is Hutcho going to be cut? All those question marks, and then turns out Sexton was just 18th man. So that didn't matter, but hopefully he's named again this week coming after that win. They didn't change anything after the big couple of losses, so I doubt they change anything from here. So 37 for him. You take that, another little price rise. Good stuff. We'll take it to the bank, and if you most likely played him if you owned him. Good stuff. Salmon, interesting one. I think a few people would have benched him. A few people would have played him as well. So I think if you did play him, you're very happy with the 37. In the end, especially with the Joe Chan news, how annoying was that? A few people are stuck. I think my head-to-head team is stuck with getting my first emergency now, because we got the news during this game here, or after this game, whatever it was, in between. Maybe it was in the Dragons and the Cowboys game, but to get that news then that he's out with a hand infection or whatever it is, and all these Dogs players that we could have played were locked out. So that was frustrating. But 37 for Salmon, really worked hard in his time out there. Got a turnover tackle with Hutcho at the same time. That was great. Kiraz missed the tackle. Hutcho and Salmon came over the top and got him to drop the ball. Basically, they raked it out a little bit, but over the line in a scoring situation, you're allowed to do that. So they both picked up a turnover, which was awesome. One more minute though from Salmon. So this is the first iteration where we see him play a little bit less, and so it was him and Curran that got the less minutes. Just maybe the way that the things panned out, but hopefully that changes from the next few weeks, because that's a bit scary. Like, he has to score really well PPM wise to get a good one here, but he only played middle. He didn't play any edge like he has in the last few weeks, or center. So I suppose getting his best score in a game where he's just in the middle, we'll take that. Both for more, obviously, just all the Titans guys. it's very hard to judge too much on a few of them. He missed a few tackles, obviously. You've got, Kiraz and these guys he's got to deal with in his first few games back. Like, he's still running hard lines. If the Titans were actually going well, he probably scores a try or gets a line break or something like that. But I do think it's a work in progress for more, and we do need to wait a little bit on him and see what happens. With that one, I've got him in Supercoach, and it's not great reading so far. Burton, 36. He didn't have to do a lot, to be honest. He only ran the footy a little bit, kicked his big bombs, tackled well. So that's the big win for him. 15 tackles for no misses. But a lot of it was down the right-hand side with Kiraz, obviously, and a bit through the middle with Reedy. So, yeah, Burton, to get a win like that, he'll be happy with it. Obviously, not getting involved much and getting really cheap fantasy-wise. So 36 average over 3 weeks. He'll be down another 20-odd K, I'd imagine. So under 600. If you can get him anywhere near 500, I think he's going to explode at some point. We know he always does. He has these little lulls and then comes back strong. Verrills with 57 minutes. We can't look at him. Boydie, oh my God. He was getting terrorized by Kickow, and just how poor the team was. 3 errors for him, a missed tackle. They're going to have to do something next week, I think, the Titans. It's not looking great. And news of Tino, we haven't heard anything concrete on him yet, but MCL or ACL is the worry with Tino after going off early in his second stint. Spent a lot of time on the sidelines when things were going poorly too. They were getting smashed, and then he comes back on and tries to change things, and unfortunately a bit of a knock to the knee, and we hopes and prayers that it's only an MCL and not ACL for Tino, because man, if he goes down, this team's in dire straits at the moment, that's for sure. So Boyd, he's part of that as well. Plenty of kick meters, but outside of that, like, defensively was good. 19 for one miss, but nothing in the way of attack. Obviously, no goals, no try assists and the like. So that's unfortunate. Like, that he was part of the suggestions. There was options of Appy, who absolutely crushed it. You had Lussick was the cheapest option, and you had Boyd as the dual option. So, and then Robson, who got 3 try assists, which is wild. So if you fell on this option, going for him with the dual, then that's upsetting. And hopefully next week's a lot better. I wouldn't be looking to sell or anything, just hope that next week's better. If you're on the Cleese Haas train, 32, you wanted more, but you weren't going to get much more in this type of game. So you hope that he gets one more extra game, and then you could obviously sell from there. Liam Knight, how good's the Platinum Blonde? That's all I've got to say about him. He did look a little bit slow into contact and so him to still get 28 minutes. I would have liked it. How is he playing 28 minutes, and Curran and Salmon are only getting a couple more? That's where I'm at the moment. Tino, we spoke about him. Fodawaker only 40 minutes as well, so low for him. They were getting crunched. He need to play the big ones, I suppose, in the end. Crichton, 21, another low game. He's going to go down 30-odd K and be right for the picking soon. If we can get him in the 400s, he's still looking solid, guys. He's doing some good work down there. Just no try assists and tries in this game. Taff with 21 with a try. So, 3 errors, the penalty. Not great on his front. A low score here just cuts all his money making, the 21. Speaking about no money making, Keanu Keeney, my goodness. 18 in this one. 5 tackles, 3 misses, 2 errors, 142 run meters with 3 tackle breaks and 3 kick defusals. It wasn't great viewing, but any outside backs here, you see Phil Sami got a try saver, 2 tackle breaks and a turnover tackle. He's still got 17. Khan Pereira got 14. Foran got 11. Brimson got 17. So he was one of the better outside backs, with Brian Kelly outdoing all of them with a mighty 25. So, not great. Not great viewing. If you played him like myself, you're not happy with it. But thank goodness I had Kiraz in this game to offset that. That's for sure. And then Sam Hughes to finish things off, guys. 17. Only getting the 20 minutes as well. So they do have a lot of forwards. They do need to, you got Curtis Morin playing some 20 minutes as well. They do need some type of utility, I think, for these middles to get extra big minutes. They do seem to be cannibalizing each other a little bit, with a few of them getting close to that 50 minutes and no one going for the massive minutes there. So that's that game. Very impressive from the Dogs. Good work to their fans at Belmore. Of course, the suburban grounds get them good. You had Belmore and you had Leichhardt Oval that provided the goods. Speaking about providing the goods, my Cowboys, with the comeback of all comebacks to go, 24? They up to 18. Should have been up 24. 18-6. And then it was like 46-18 or something before Dragons scored near the end, something like that. The Cowboys have just got to get get their shit sorted in the first 20 minutes. Like they've been so bad for years now in that first 20, and then they just expect to come back. And sometimes some teams you'll be able to come back against in the Dragons like this, but other times you won't. It's an absolute shocker of a start, and yeah, then it turned around and it was great for fantasy. So Holmes with 88. If you got him in your side, like I spoke about him in the preseason, and coming into I think round 2 or round 3, that he's a guy that just looks great. Like last week was a shocker. A lot of people saying in this one he didn't really look too interested, but you look at this and he had 2 missed tackles, no errors, no penalties, and then 7 goals, try assists, 2 line breaks, all the craziness that you can see. 13 tackles, 2 misses. Like he's throwing his body at people and doing a great job. So he's one of the top tier keepers in the center position quite clearly. I'd say he's top 2 or 3. In my opinion, you've got Gagai, you've got Tungo at the moment, and Holmes is where it's at. And then Lomax, I suppose he's up there as well. 59 for him, 2 tries, 4 goals in this one. And look, if they score some type of points, the Dragons, he's going to be part of it because he runs plenty, and then he'll kick goals and he'll get involved in the tries as well down that right-hand side. So that's Lomax. Good stuff for owners of him. In this one, DeBellin, 57. So he got 61 minutes in this one and got involved, that's for sure. 40 tackles, 2 offloads, 111 meters. So good stuff for DeBellin. He kind of stops a lot of his price drops with that 57. So we won't get him as cheap as we might have once hoped. Drinkwater, on the other hand, guys, 2 try assists, a try in this one. Good kick meters as well and good run meters at that. So I did end up, unfortunately, well, there's only 4 points difference, but a lot of cash making in the head-to-head squad. I had to change one of my trades because I've got Keeney to a Bicky. I was like, Keeney's not playing next week, surely. With Campbell playing in Queensland Cup. Keeney to a Picky and Pap. So I'm left with Tommy only for next week. So I was like, well, I better use that cash for a gun wing fullback, and I did decide to go Drinkwater. Some options included Lomax or Ponga. I was like, let's go for Drinky, and he is running the footy plenty, and we know he gets involved in everything. So still very happy with the 56, but obviously my trade was for Galvin. Had to switch that one, and I suppose the hope in that team was to be like, oh, hopefully Galvin get like 38 and be solid without going crazy. So yeah, I plugged one of my holes next week in the wing fullback, but I do hopefully, if I can, try and get Galvin next week to get that full 17 on the park with one other fullback, unless Kitty ends up playing. So that's that. That's that situation. Very happy with the outcome of 56 for Drinky. If he got like a 30 and Galvin got 60, it would have been sad times. But yeah, Robbo, 54 here. He had 2 line break assists, 3 try assists. Wow, that's impressive. 3 missed tackles here, so a little bit of the norm. But there's so many, as you'll see with Cotter there at 40 for him, just so many tries and so many points in this game. It's very hard to get big tackle numbers, and obviously both teams are just throwing it around, and there's tackle breaks galore and missed tackles galore. So that was it for Robson. It could have been a lot worse for non-owners, but he's been the guy. He's been the guy we all needed from round 1, and we do hope today, as a Grant owner, that he can get a 60-odd plus and get at least over this 53 average. So, we're justified for paying that extra 120k for Grant, that's for sure. Townsend, 52, good stuff for him. He's done really well. He's averaging 50 over the first 3, so well done, Townsend. Getting involved in everything, got to try himself in this one. Blake Laurie worked hard for his 48, Eisenhuth 47. Obviously, all the Dragons guys were making bulk tackles in this one. Leilua 46. If you went for one of the, like an Eisenhuth, you're very happy in the end. 47 for him across the first 3. Leilua, just wait till he's probably not going to drop anymore, is he, with that 46. Flanagan, the 46 there. Wow, if you held on, some of the simplest tries he's got at the moment, but he's picking gaps and he's taking them. A lot of halves don't do it. They'll just think about getting it to Hunt, getting it to whoever else he needs to, and he's seeing the gap and he's going for it, and it's working for him. A try, 2 line breaks for him, 17 tackles for a miss. So really, he's one of those guys that'll be near that high 20s to 30, and then he'll get, if he gets attacking stats, which he's got 2 tries in 3 games. So I definitely didn't expect that from Flanagan. Everyone say it's a return of Flanagan from yesteryear. And that's a great score, 46, and he reignites that money making with that. I suppose, can he do it week to week, or does he go back to a 20-odd next week? So he's not a buy. Hopefully he's a clear hold for you guys. Hunt, 45, Nanai, 42, so didn't get involved in the attacking side this week, which was frustrating. Griffin Neem with a nice try running through. Yeah, McLean, 41. Yeah, Cotter, 40 and 65 for him. So he ended up playing bigger minutes than I thought he would. which was good. But then we end up getting a lateral ankle sprain. So hopefully it's just they weren't concerned about it, is what they were saying. And he is back next week, and maybe it is some lesser minutes. But hopefully with a nice turnaround. What have they got for next week? So round 4 coming right up. Oh, they're Friday night. Damn it. So 6-day turnaround. Hopefully that's enough. Hopefully he's fine off that. If not, I'm in trouble of fielding a 17 this week, that's for sure. So, yeah, annoying that he had to, he obviously was on right at the end. I suppose it's when, from now on, he won't keep his stars on right till the end. And, but yeah, good minutes, worked hard enough, didn't get a lot of, much attack or anything, a couple of penalties, 12 in negatives, not great. So, hopefully next week he's back up, but a 49 in 3 is completely fine. Yeah, we're hoping for a 50 average or thereabouts, 52, and he did that. He's done that over the first 3. Finne Fuyaki, so 57 minutes for him. He got a cracking knock under the eye, and that puffed up really quick, and then came back on and got a nice try off Reece Robson. So congrats to Finne for that one, and owners of him. It did, if you went for Finne and you went for Galvin, absolutely cheering in this one. 40 points, 57, so past his HIA, good stuff at that. My worry, and always was that if this attack doesn't come in the tries, this is probably the minutes that we would have expected from him at 57, that these kind of numbers here, 23 for 3 misses, so 17 in net tackles. Yes, there was a lot of points in this game. Run meter's not very high either, at 55. He did have a turnover tackle as well. So without that, tackle break, try, so that's 14 plus the turnover tackle, he's on 22. So that's my worry with him, is his PPM can be a little bit low. But in this case, you got to try. Happy days. Just be aware of that week-to-week basis, and even me looking to potentially buy him next week, that's something I need to keep in the back of my mind. McIntyre, 37 with the try. Good on him. Didn't got a try as well. It was a try-a-thon, obviously. Sully, just can't get around it. you got a line break, which is good. A couple of offloads, a couple of tackle breaks, 110 meters run again. And when your team gets smashed, you take the 34. He's just going to hang around this price over the next bunch of weeks. So that's that. Big shout out to my boy Tom Chester. It was very sad to hear that Laybut was out in this game, considering he's in my Supercoach teams. But 34 for Chester, my favourite Cowboy. Good to see him rip and tear. 150 run meters, 12 tackles and a miss, and a try assist in that on that right edge in the centres. So good stuff for him. Played fullback last year, played centres here, and I think he's been training at centre all preseason as well. So good stuff for him. Faitala Mariner, full 80 and 32 points. Not good. You're holding steady with him. Bird, 26. Keep him losing cash. Lose cash for us. Non-owners. Malazan got some lower minutes there. Still 23 with Marshke starting. So they're liking Connor off the bench, apparently. Felt with the low one. William Fafita with a 9. So he'll stay down there. And then Taumalolo was 6 in 21 minutes. And I suppose they aren't playing Granville for massive minutes anymore, like they were last year. So there you go. But yeah, Taumalolo, 6 in 21 minutes. What a shocker. And man, he's going to get cheap, and so people are going to buy him at some point, that's for sure. Last game of the day is the Tigers up against the Sharkies. So for the Tigs there, 32-6. Congratulations to them, and a big congratulations to Api Coruscant, Benji Marshall, and this Tigers team that's been dragged through the mud, and a big exciting win for them. But we'll get into the fantasy side of it. 74 for Appy in 67 minutes. They got the early mark. Massive cheer from the crowd for Appy every time he touches the ball and does something special. And my goodness, he did. And he probably should have scored another try as well. He dropped it over the line, which would have put him into the 90s. Incredible. 42 tackles, 2 misses, running the footy, putting on try assist. Incredible effort from him, and he was the buy of the week, obviously, at 74, him and Galvin. If you just grab both of them, Appy and Galvin, you need the hooker, you needed the cash cow. That was the play. 2 incredible players, that's for sure. And add Buller into that list at 62 for him. And they've got a really special core at the moment. You're looking at Caesar, who can run the ship, which is great. You've got Buller at 1, young talent. You've got Galvin at 6, incredible young talent. And then Api Coruscant in the 9 position that's very crafty and can create a lot for these guys. And yeah, very impressive from both of them. Hazelton just getting through his work. 57 minutes in the end for Hazelton. We did lose Finucane after 22 minutes early in the second half to a HIA. He did fail that. So expect a few extra minutes for Hazelton, for McInnes in the following weeks. Probably not extra on this, but just extra on their normal. Big score from Hazelton. And this is in his wheelhouse, these types of games where he just works hard, he gets tries, but just the minutes aren't usually there. But Galvin, let's speak about him because he is a super impressive player. So that's 2 weeks in a row now. He's got no missed tackles. That's 40 in 2 games now for 0. Did get a couple of line break assists, got the try assist in this one. 3 offloads, 85 run meters, 196 off the boot, with Caesar kicking for 528. So it was a hell of a lot of kick meters in this one. Galvin just absolutely holding his own on a right hand side defense of Hynes, of Ramian, obviously Jack Williams this week, not Nikora. He held his own and didn't miss 1 tackle. So a very impressive stat number. They obviously ran him a lot, 22 tackles there, and 60 points for him. So if you didn't grab him this last week or this week, next week's the big one. If you missed that one, I think he's going to be near and gets like a 50 again. He's going to be up near 400k, which will be tough to swallow to when you could get him at this price, or like 320 or whatever he's going to be, 310 next week. Yeah, so get on next week. Make sure you get a 17 on the park, and then the next port of call is to get Galvin. That's for sure, because he was special. Stefano, big minutes for him and big efforts. So 7 tackle breaks, 180 run meters, very impressive. McInnes dropped down to a 51 from a 53. Worked hard, did have a couple of penalties, the misses and the error as well. So not great on him, but expect, again, good minutes like this week, the 64. And, game where they got smashed as well. It's hard to gauge how good it could have been. Obviously, take away a few of those negatives, and that's where a lot of the positive is at here. Nico with 50, and a few people ask, how does he get 70 points? He got a turnover tackle try saver, which there's 9, and then it's 41, just like he made 29 tackles. Yes, he missed a bunch, he had a lot of errors, but kicked for big meters, run 120. There's a lot there with an offload as well. So you just do a lot of things. Even if you have negatives, you're going to score some decent points. But 50 for Hynes, not decent enough. He had a shocker. The team had a shocker. You expected this scoreline to be the other way, 32-6 to the Sharks, with Hynes getting like a 70 or 80. No one could have predicted. Well, apparently 4% of people tipped the Tigers, but no one would have predicted this outcome. And if you did, and you said Hynes was going to be crap after last week's 70 odd points without doing too much, you expected some try assists to try in this one or something like that. It went the other way. So as a captainer, 50 points, it's not the worst thing in the world. You would have hoped for better, but you would have hoped for like a 70, but it's 20 points off. It's not the end of the world. Look, he's going to get cheaper, that's for sure as well. Anyone looking to buy him in round 6, the Sharks need to turn this around and expect next week to be a big bounce back from Nico. And look, captaining him again next week, doubling down, wouldn't be the worst shout, I don't think. Brayley with 50, there's a lot of players with over 50 in this one. Olam with 50 as well, had a tremendous game in this one, 2 line breaks, big run meters. Excited to see him come out and play well. If you do need a cheaper center, it's him. It's Seb Chris at that price point of near 400 after this. So good stuff. And what about the bounce back from Seyfarth there, 50 in the 32 minutes? Crazy times how this works, but much better from him. Still low minutes, and he won't score like this every week, but a big win for them. Fanua, Bolo there, he had 60 minutes, so he's the guy at 13 in the middle there for them. He also had, I don't think Pole is an option, guys, at 479, a bit awkward price. Isaiah Publi picked up a try in this one, 47 in 65, so getting 15 less minutes. Unfortunate in this one, not a buy as yet. I still think that he's going to be not making enough tackles, getting some negatives. The meters gained, they go through obviously the middle guys a lot and then try to get it out to the edges. You saw with like Olam and the like there. And then Pole making big meters through the middle, as I said. Clem as well, 137. Caesar, a really good game for him, guys. Very impressed with what he was able to do, steering the ship around. Congrats to Caesar. Is he an option from next week? I do think you need to see them in a loss and what type of score he's going to get at 7. And then make some decisions on that, because he was very low in the minutes he played last week. So just keep that in mind. And he's the goal kicker when Appy goes off. Katoa, 45, so good work from him. He's kind of one of the only guys in the outside backs from the Sharkies that was able to go through this game with minimal negatives. Obviously, we had Talakai run for massive meters and get good tackle breaks as well. Jack Williams on the edge. He had Rudolph through the middle. Picked up a HA at one point, I think. Had to come back. Yeah, had to go off, come back on, I believe. Bateman, 42. Again, loses some cash. Not great. Nothing's happening for him on this side of the ball. No tackle breaks, no tries or try assists. At this stage, he'll get there eventually. Hold if you own. Not buying at this stage. Ronaldo, 34 after his massive couple of first games. Got a line break near the end. and some run meters. But yeah, nothing was happening on the edges, unfortunately, for the Sharkies. You see Ramey in there, 25. You see Wilton down at 33. So it shows that when your team gets smashed, it's very hard to score well from anyone from edges onwards. And then Finucane obviously had the head knock. He had Twiley and he played 17 minutes. Fatape, solid game outside of the missed tackles. He's just still learning his craft. Staines 15. Trindle, talk about staining his price. He's going to go down another 30, 40k. Not good there. 14. It's crazy. Even with good kick meters at like 252, he just can't get involved in anything at the moment. Burns 31 minutes for 9, and then Sullivan 14 minutes for 7, coming on for Appy. And yeah, I suppose it didn't have much to play with in this game. So that's the fantasy outputs for these 3 games. We have 2 games to go. I think if you're sitting around 4 players left, including a loop, so 4 in total, I think you're probably going to hold rank today, unless like Turbo or Grant or Lussick or one of those random guys, because a lot of us got Burbo, Pappy. Like if you're outside of those guys and Turbo goes nuts, then you'll probably make some ranks. If Grant goes nuts, then I'll probably make some ranks there. So that's where we're at coming into the last 2 games. I wish you all the best of luck, and I hope that round 3 has been solid for you. It's definitely been an improvement for me, and that's all we can hope for each and every week.